you need to be careful who you listen to. And these days, it's not just about listening to your parents, your uncle, or somebody that your friend. It's the people that you watch online. It's the TikTok videos. It's the podcasts. It's the YouTube channels. Because you may think that you're just doing these innocuous things. I'm just passing time. I'm just listening to this person while I'm on the train, while I'm driving. It's not that deep. That's like the popular phrase. I use it a lot. It's not that deep. This video is a continuation from the conversation that we're having about 10 ideas to help 1 million people to transform their lives radically in their 30s. It's a collection of thoughts that I've had for myself that I like to reflect and think about, that I've seen over the years has really affected the way that I approach life and the way that I just present myself in the rooms that I show myself. So the first one on the show was about self-awareness. If you haven't watched it, I'm going to put a link somewhere here that you can watch it. It's going to be in the description. Maybe it's not, because again, I think I mentioned this from 2 videos ago. For this series of videos, I don't want anybody to watch it, or rather, I'm okay with nobody watching it. It's more for me to do 2 things: share an idea, make my thumbnail good, which is a work in progress. But yeah, we talk about the first idea. We're going to talk about the second idea. And these are all ideas, are all things that I've seen in my life that really make sense to me. And I try to apply it on a regular basis. So don't take advice from anyone you won't switch places with. There's such a thing as bad advice, and good advice for someone else could be bad advice for you. And guess what? Bad advice for someone else can be great advice for you. See self-awareness. So see the previous video to understand this better, at least understanding that. What do I mean by this? There are people who make great parents who have been told all their lives that they are not very good with children because of the way that somebody saw them interacting with children. And also, there are people who were told, well, you're going to be so amazing mom, but they had no idea that this person had a predilection to postpartum depression or just inability to handle the stress that comes with having a child. The key thing here is this: be careful whose advice you listen to. In the first video or the previous video, I talk about reading the Bible because I think the Bible is a source of truth. The Bible is one of the greatest sources of self-awareness and confidence and boldness that comes with knowing that you're doing the work of Christ, because it would inform not just the way that you appear in church, but especially the way that you appear out of church, because we're told to go and make disciples of all nations, not disciples of the church. Bottom line is that you need to be careful who you listen to. And these days, it's not just about listening to your parents, your uncle, or somebody that your friend. It's the people that you watch online. It's the TikTok videos. It's the podcasts. It's the YouTube channels. Because you may think that you're just doing these innocuous things. I'm just passing time. I'm just listening to this person while I'm on the train, while I'm driving. It's not that deep. That's like the popular phrase. I use it a lot. It's not that deep. But your brain is a sponge. You're absorbing ideas. You're absorbing philosophies. You're absorbing things. So if you listen to somebody and you don't know where this person is coming from, you don't know who this person's life, they may give ideas that may sound great on the surface, but you don't know what they've sacrificed to get there. You don't know how they have made their life to fit that particular idea. Same thing for me. I'm telling you here, for example, about self-awareness, self-responsibility, and all these things. You don't know what I've had to do to get to this point where I believe that this is true for me. I'm talking about not listening to advice. You don't know whose advice I listen to. Because on the flip side, you may have people who are giving you solid advice, people who are living a good life based on your ideals if you had taken the time to know yourself and know what you stand for and what you believe in. But because you haven't taken the time to figure out who you are, what you want, where you're going to, then you're not even able to identify the people who can help you get there. So you may notice, as we go on with these videos, that these ideas sort of tie to each other, because if you know yourself and you know why you are here, you will sort of have an idea of who can help you get to where you need to go to. Who should you listen to? Whose calls should you take? Which book should you read? Which person should you be paying attention to? Because a lot of these ideas are twofold. I say here, don't take advice from anyone you won't switch places with. It also means take advice from someone you will switch places with. If there is somebody in your life who is living the kind of life that you would like to get, listen to them. Ask them questions. Pay attention to the way they carry themselves. Look at their life. See their journey. See their struggle. See what they did to get to where they are now, right now. Because we are so focused. I know when you say that, don't take advice from anybody. The internet is so focused on telling us what not to do. Sometimes we don't talk about what to do. Like what to actually positively do. What is a positive Psalm situation where it's like listening to this person can actually improve your life. We always talk about don't listen to this narcissist, don't listen to this person, don't take advice from anybody, just follow your path, do your thing. But I remember a video I watched from Ed Milet where he talked about, feedback, criticism, and haters. I think there was feedback, there was concern, feedback, and criticism. And to be able to identify those three different things and to know what to do in each scenario. In this particular case, what I'm talking about is people who can be giving you concern because no feedback, no criticism. As you can see, I'm confused. Bottom line is this. If you're going to live a kind of life, you need to know what that life is. You need to know who you are. But you also need to pay attention to who you're listening to help you build a life. Because here's the thing. It doesn't matter what you believe or don't believe. Time will keep ticking. You will die. There will come a day when you will not be able to run around, when you will not be able to rush to the store, when you will not be able to sleep and wake up early, when you will not... Life is just what it is. Everybody by a certain age is aware that their life is going to end. I think there's a quote that says, everybody has two lives. The first one is when they are born, and the second one is when they know that they're going to die. Something about, the realization that all of this will end. And I think Christians focus so much on what happens after, heaven is my portion. We tend to think about everything else beyond this world. And we forget that we were told to go and, trample on the earth and multiply and be fruitful and do all these cool things. We forget that the patriarchs were actually pretty wealthy. They worked really hard. They were very ambitious and they built things. Forget about, King David, King Solomon. All these people who were hardworking people, who listened to God, who worked hard. Nehemiah, who left his position to go and build a wall. Like, the more I think about it, the more I realize that if we actually understood the Bible and the Word of God, there are a lot of things that will fix themselves just because we know now what to do. But the point of this video, and as you can see, I'm getting carried away by all my thoughts, which happens on a regular basis, which is one of the things why I'm making this video, because I tend to get stuck in my thoughts sometimes. I think and go in tangents. I come out in this other direction. Now, when I edit it, it looks great. It looks like I figured it out. But I'm not editing this video to prove that point, to make it look nice. Remember the goal. Talk about an idea, make a thumbnail for as long as it takes. But now, I put myself in a constraint. There are 10 videos to be made. I've made the first one, is the second video. So let's come back to this idea of not taking advice. When you don't know who you are or where you're going, you might take advice from everybody. So if you think about it, you need to figure out where you're going. And then you can figure out who can help you. And if you don't know where you're going, start somewhere. Aim in a direction. I mentioned in the previous 2 videos ago, use the anti-vision. If you don't know who to listen to, at least identify who you should not listen to. How do you do that? Look at their life. Be objective. You don't have to be judgmental. Be objective. This person, are they living a life that I would enjoy living? Are they at a level in life that I would have loved to be if I was their age? Are they doing the things that I want to do? Do they enjoy the things that I enjoy? Do we have similar values? These are simple questions, at least I believe, that you can use to judge whether somebody is worth listening to or not. And the reverse too is true. If you find somebody who is living that life, don't be afraid to go up to them. Don't be afraid to look up and say, hey, man, or auntie, uncle, I've been watching and listening. It looks to me like you work really hard. I see your family and admire your children. They seem to be well brought up. Whatever it is. I don't know, I'm coming up with some Nigerian ideas. But whatever it is, what I'm saying is, the moment you have in your heart the ability to ask those questions, to think about what you want to talk about, and who you want to talk to, you will be surprised how many people will say, hey, young man, young lady, I like your spirit. All right, call me tomorrow and let's discuss this thing, or let's meet every 2 months or so. And now you have the opportunity to be mentored, the opportunity to become a mentee, to learn from somebody and avoid the pitfalls of their journey and go there faster. But guess what? The sooner you're able to know who you should take advice from, the sooner you will be able to give advice to people and then help them build their lives. So that's today's video, or this afternoon's video, or this morning's video, whenever you're watching this. Don't take advice from anyone you won't switch places with. What is good advice for you may be bad advice for another person. And I think, and I hope that you'll be able to see this as an opportunity to realize that you may know what to do and what to tell somebody. I've seen it happen in my life so many times. So I'm trying to help people, and I realize that people will only listen to you on their own terms, at their own pace. And all you can do is just be the person that they can listen to. So don't try so hard to convince people with your words. Again, I'm going to repeat this. Become the person that they have no choice but to listen to. All right. I'll see you in the next one.